this is, Andy spoke at the beginning about Magenta being an exquisite extend, switch, distribute brand. That still carries on, Mark, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Magenta has been around for an awfully long time, and as Andy mentioned, pioneer in video extension, and that quality and innovation lives on today. Yeah, what we're showing here are just a couple of our solutions. We have such a wide range of products, and I think these are the real hero products, Mark, not the Choreomasters and HIPAA, but the stuff that actually gets it done. Active optical cables. I'm sure everyone's seen those before. What's fantastic here is at Magenta is incredibly low voltage requirements for these cables. That's always a headache when you get out there and your simple HDMI device just it wasn't built to power other things. So that's a key feature and differentiator for these types of cables, as well as the fact that you can get them in a couple different flavors. We've got them in just standard PVC. We've got them in plenum. We've got them in low smoke, zero halogen, as well as armored. And you can get them in HDMI 2.0 or DisplayPort 1.4.
And I find them really interesting is the lengths they come in, because in this room, I normally have extra screens on the side here. And when you run the cable out from the Choreomaster 2, you're kind of over 5 meters. And as soon as you get the EMC mixed in with that, with like a standard HDMI cable, especially with 4K 60, it can get kind of close to the performance level. I love the fact that I don't have to make a cable up. It just comes in a variety of lengths. I can just roll out off the reel. Yeah,
it's a real pain in the butt when you've got to go 10 meters and you have to purchase or put in place power because you need a transmitter and a receiver. That stinks. So certainly with short distances like 10 meters, it's a great problem solver. But reaching out as far as most HD-based type products or extenders, 100 meters, 328 feet would be the maximum distance you can get on these. And it's so simple not to have to worry about additional power or terminating.
Yeah, it's cool. And then we got the FB, we all call it the FB, the MGFB 61X series. And that I think goes up to 300 meters on fiber, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. So if you need to go further, HDMI 2.0, ARC, the full shebang. We'll play down some fiber and get yourself some real distance, and this will take you there.
Sweet. Now the rest of this, I want to focus in on OneRack, which is a cracking product. And I thought what we could do, just in case we've got somebody who's living on Mars for the last few years since we won all those awards at the launch, we could just give a briefest of overview. And what I've done is I've chopped up the amazing video off the website into chunks, and I thought we could just to build this story up for people. So this for me is the core of it, which is the mounting module.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're not aware of a OneRack, shame on you, but don't worry, we're gonna bring you up to speed. So the concept is taking a device, any small device with an external power supply, a tvONE, a Magenta product, or whoever. In this one, it's a very familiar purple box, and that you mount it to one of these metal modules. Comes in a couple different sizes: 4RU, 5RU, or 6RU in size, and you connect that to that little silver box back there, which has a voltage selector in it. You choose one of 7 different voltages, all at 35 watts. And now you've eliminated that external power supply, and you've turned your device into a card. So you just slide that card in or out of the chassis, as you can see in the slide, we offer a standard power supply of 250 watt, but we also have redundant powers of up to 450 watt. So now I can make that small transmitter or media player I can give it redundant power. I can service it quickly. I can build my racks cleanly. And as you can see here, you can even slap on a cooling fan and keep the whole thing nice and cool. So now as-builts are precise. It's not that the device, that small thing is somewhere in rack 4. It's rack 4, RU20, position 3, something like that. So that's going to speed up your SLAs, your service contracts, and bring a whole new level of cleanliness to your racks.
And I remember when we launched this, I had a bunch of people saying, well, I'll just get a metal shelf, bung stuff on there, that'll be fine. And it's not until you build your first one of these, you realize you have the gear on your desk, you can pre-plan it. We've got CAD drawing elements you can put as you design it, and you just do it on your desk and slide it in and out. So actually, the metal shelf is obviously going to cost less than this, but actually, I felt that it actually saved me time and money. And also with the piece that you said, actually servicing them becomes almost a revenue generator. It could be.
Yeah, totally. I mean, a shelf, I mean, shoot, you could pile your gear up on the floor. That'll save you a ton of money. But, a shelf versus a one rack, you actually get about 30% higher density for racking and mounting product in a one rack as you do to equivalent number of shelves and RUs. Obviously, as you mentioned, servicing, what a nightmare if you've got to now pull apart because one of those silly wall warts has died. You've got to now go in and just completely destroy your beautiful rack, pull out multiple shelves and multiple devices to get that one little device that's down there in the center of that shelf. It's a nightmare. It's going to take you a lot of time and your customer's going to be down. With a OneRack, we've even seen customers pre-populate modules and just send them to the customer and say, just swap it. Just change module number 3. You can go right in there, or we even have sites where they have technicians on site, and they'll use that for quick downtime switch over, or even if they have to, if they've got to switch it over quickly because they're live, they can do it really fast. You just slide it in there and it's powered up. So it's a lot different than just a shelf.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a convert, Mark. There's no doubt about that at all. I've got one. Don't think you can quite see it, but I've got one in the rack here, and it's got all my media players and all those sort of elements in there.
I believe you.
I am the man. I've got it all here. I've got a Core Master 2, which you can see it, and below that I've got a OneRack, and at the bottom it's not turned on at the moment, but I've got my hypnotizer. Got it all here. Now I know one of the things you got mentioned a lot in the past is wouldn't it be great if we could just access the OneRack power element, and you innovated with R&D and made this brilliant solution to answer that.
Yeah, sometimes customers just didn't have 4RU for the power solution for the racking or whatever, and so what we came out with just in the past year is the Spider. So this takes the same power and voltage technology on those small silver boxes, and they become their own modules, and they slide into their own little chassis, which provides just the power aspects of the OneRack. You can mount your devices however you need to or intend to, but now we give the ability to provide you with 7 different simultaneous voltages, either behind a video wall at surface mount or in a rack like this, where you've got vertical or horizontal mounting in the rear. Comes in 2 sizes. There's a 7 position chassis, and there's a 23 position chassis, a strip. Again, every single module can provide 7 different simultaneous voltages at 35 watts.
And I have got one of these over here as well, but my arms aren't long enough, Mark. But it's just that I can see it. I can see it. We already talked about this, but what the whole point of the session was to help people to realize actually doing this stuff, especially with the OneRack mounting, it actually makes you much more efficient. It can actually save you money. And and that's for me what both of these products do. Cleaner racks, more dependable. I can build as designed racks, and I've never been able to do that with a shelf or cable tying stuff in.
Definitely, that's the with OneRack products and power products, as well as Magenta extension products, it's difficult to say these are the only applications that require these products. That every single job that you work on, there's no way that everything is going to be in the right place when you install it, or have all the power that you need without making a rat's nest. And so that's super important here to keep in mind, is that this is everywhere, and we've all experienced the problems. Heck, Magenta, with all its little transmitters and receivers, helped create the problem. So we found a solution, not just for us, but for everybody. And there's actually an alliance. I don't know if we mentioned that on your Mark.
No, that's a really good point. And you can find the members, and they're ever growing on our website. And that's one of the things you go out and find partners to work with, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth mentioning, we've got an alliance of manufacturers that have said, if you cut our power supplies off from our devices and use a OneRack, it will not void our warranty. And that's the OneRack Alliance.
It's amazing. Yeah. And it's great because we I think that's the theme that's gone through this entire session, is we're agnostic and we work with everybody. We want to be an experts in everything we do and be able to work with everybody. I wanted to finish with this, because this application tells the OneRack story so much. And I remember when we first found out about this, it was like, wow, this is incredible. This is United Launch Alliance. And as it says here, they wanted to create circuits and put them on a single module to ease not only the installation, but also the servicing element as well, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. So United Launch Alliance a lot of times gets confused as NASA, but these are just the guys that do all the launching and help run that for NASA. So those sort of mission control rooms that you see when we hear about rocket launches and things like that, that's actually United Launch Alliance facilities. And they are the largest user of OneRack in the world. OneRack's everywhere, but these guys took it to another level. And as you said, their concept was, they have these enormous campus with cameras and video miles and miles apart, and they wanted to be able to put all the devices that relate to one signal on one module for servicing, for the ease of design and use when they have to. And so all those devices are able to fit onto a 6RU module. They're all getting powered off the same voltage in this particular case. And it makes it just their lives so much easier. It's when they can walk into a room, slide out a module and say, this is, video from Launchpad 13 or whatever. It's a brilliant use case.
Yes, it's awesome. And what happens when they want to add a second voltage on there? Is that easy to do?
Yeah, it is. And the module, as you can see, every module comes with that silver case on there with the voltage supply. And then you can add another one just opposite, just above it for a second voltage. So now you can have two different voltages all at the same time, all 35 watts on the same module. Very powerful.
Sweet. Brilliant, Mark. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Mark.